Welcome everyone to today's webinar. I'm Guido. I will be your host for this session. I'm the product manager and UX designer for Newired. And as I see, people are still joining the session, so let's allow them 1 or 2 minutes to settle. Meanwhile, I invite you all to get familiar with the GoToWebinar platform. So you can see in the panel, there is the box for questions in case you wish to make questions. And at the end of the webinar, we will gladly answer to them. So 1-2 more minutes and then we start. So here we are. Also for those that just arrived, welcome everyone to today's webinar presented by Newired. So also for the newcomers, you can see the panel. In the panel, there is the box for questions in case you wish to make questions. And at the end of the webinar, we will gladly answer them. So let's begin. Today, we are happy to showcase our latest AI-powered innovation in our product. And we'll take a look at how this innovation can revolutionize your digital adoption. So let's get started. I am again pleased to welcome you all. And now I'll pass the word to our VP Product Manager, E.G. Valek. Thank you.
Thank you, Guido. Again, welcome everyone. And today we speak about the Neweired's AI capabilities. It's a second webinar in our AI series. In the beginning, I will recap shortly about the existing capabilities where the AI, such as the natural language processor or generative AI capabilities are being used. And in the second half of today's webinar, I'll also speak about some outlook into the future. So the first thing to start with are definitely the content translations. As we said last time, I mean the natural language processing capabilities of today's AI engines are to be used in a different sectors for different capabilities, and a very straightforward implementation for the NLP is the content translation. To recap where you will find it, if you go into the Newired portal, here under the translations, you can manage the translations. If you enable the AI-based services via the settings and advanced settings, we go here and we see AI translations enabled. In such case, in addition to what you are able to do with Newired today, there is alternative action called Translate Content with Newired AI Translator. I can just pick the language and trigger the translation via AI. This usually takes few minutes, so I will not trigger it now, but we have already prior this call just triggered that for example, for the French translation, which ultimately leads into the fact that once I translate it, I can of course download and adjust the translation manually. But if I publish the content, I'll be able to access the translations on the fly just by changing the translation in the user interface. So if we switch to French, we see that the content is automatically translated into the French language. Once again, it is as easy as just, let's say, triggering the automated translation. But what we have done, we listen to our customers, that we still enable them to, after the content has been translated with AI, to download the actual translation package. And in this translation package, I will be able to open it via the translation editor and adjust the translation manually. So it means that the translation is not, let's say, performed on the fly, but it is performed once, then it can be adjusted by the human, and uploaded back to the system. Of course, you can trigger the translation anytime if you add new journeys, new tips, new playbooks, whatever content you add into the into Newired database. So, long story short, this really is based on the XLIF file format. So we still keep the existing workflows for making the translations consistent, but it's now AI-powered efficiency, which enables you to just translate the content with a single click. The second part where NLP and generative AI capabilities are really used by the Newired system today is AI-driven conversational search. For that, today I'll use a different server than we use by default. I'll go into the Siemens test drive server over their ALM platform. And here we see that there are a bunch of journeys that helps people to use this Siemens technology while they are performing a test drive. And one of the journey is about project management. And I can start searching like how to, there's nothing, I can just search for Gantt, there's nothing found. But if I trigger this particular journey, we see that there is some content which actually expose the Gantt capabilities in Polarion, which shows really that there is a work breakdown structure, a timeline, a report, etc. So there is a content. Just the traditional help interface doesn't process it well, because this is really implemented in an old-fashioned way that while you are typing, it actually just searches through the content that you see on the screen. But if we switch to an AI-powered interface, so we go to the same content, and I switch from French back to English. If I would, let's see, search in the traditional way, I don't find anything. But if I enable the chatbot interface, I can start asking questions in a human readable form, just like how to use study Gantt. And now the AI is being processing my question in a human readable way, and it actually summarizes for me how to actually use the Next Gantt for project management, that I should use the Next Gantt template. There is work breakdown structure feature, there's a timeline, task allocation, and I can also actually trigger the journey, or I can even preview the journey. So I can, with a one click, get to the journey preview, or let's see, run it in a live interface over my Polarion interface. So what we have seen is that the AI-driven conversational search provides a great capabilities to really understand what the user is asking for, and the AI actually is processing all the content that is being pushed to Newired, including, let's say, the description of the steps in a journey, including some additional meta information such as internal descriptions and public descriptions for better understanding what a journey is about. So it really understands and interprets the user queries. And in addition to that, I get the summary of the journey in a textual format. So I can read up front what is the journey about that I'm going to trigger. So we process all the data that are in Newired through the AI NLP processor, and the user can perform the queries in a human readable format. In addition to that, actually, because the content is being powered by the AI, I can actually ask, probably in the different languages. I will start asking in a Czech language, in my mother tongue. And you see that just by typing in a different language, I will still get the answers through the AI capabilities. So I don't need to interact in the language that you use to create the content, but the system automatically recognizes that I'm asking in a different language. It summarizes the content, automatically translated into a different language, and it still suggests the journey that we have been suggested when I was asking in an English language. So how these two things work together? So either I can translate the content into any language, but in addition to that, I can actually use the AI to start asking the questions or searching for the knowledge in any language, and the system will automatically on the fly prepare the summaries for the journeys, for the tips, for the bookmarks, for all the content that is there, prepared by the Newired content authors, and suggest what journeys are available. And that's, I believe, really a great example how AI-powered translations and conversational searches, let's see, provide a breakthrough through how we interact with the knowledge bases, with the content in general. And so far we were speaking only about the Newired content. We are speaking about how we translate the journeys, how we translate the bookmarks, how we search for the journeys, how does we search for the for tips, etc. But what we see in a real life deployments of the DAP platforms, that you don't create a journey for every operation, for every use case. But very often the vendors provide additional documentation, or you have additional documentation in your knowledge base system, in the SharePoint, in the PDFs, I mean, in the format you name. And we believe that the Newired should really provide an entry point for a user anytime he or she is seeking assistance. What am I saying? So if you go back to our example, we see that we were chatting about the next ligand for Polarion, which actually is, there is a journey available for such a use case. But what if you want to ask for something which there is no journey about? So if you check the journeys, there is, for example, no journeys for the administration. And I still want to know, how do I create a custom field for a work item? I'm just asking a question. I don't know if there is a journey. I don't know if the content author has prepared a journey like that, because I'm just using the help to trigger the query, to ask for a specific question. And what you see here is that we provide automatically the textual description derived from the knowledge base. So while I'm chatting, I get the instructions how to do so, or I can actually open the article directly from the help interface of Newired. So what we are seeing here is that the help menu, so the moment when I click help, so when I am interacting with the interface of in this case Polarion by Siemens, when I click help, I want the interface to actually process all the cases when the user is asking for an assistance, for help. And how we do so? We do so by integrating the existing knowledge base. So the knowledge base that already exists, but the user doesn't need to know which journeys exist and what article exists. So we provide the holistic interface where the user performs just one question: how do I create a project? And in this case, we are processing this question with all the information that is available. What does it mean available? We process the content from Newired, the journeys and tips, etc. But we also allow customers to integrate their existing knowledge base. And when they integrate their existing knowledge base, the AI assistant based on the existing knowledge base and or include the references to the online articles, so the person doesn't need to search and or switch from one help system to the other. So just to recap, it's seamless. We seamlessly integrate the existing content with the Newired digital adoption platform online step-by-step guidance, which actually makes it really efficient for the user to discover what content is available online without really going through multiple systems, without a need to search the SharePoint, the online knowledge base, the YouTubes. I mean, you can integrate any of these contents directly into the single holistic interface. And again, what is really crucial, all of that can be also executed in a preferred personal language. So even if the knowledge base is in English, I can still go and search in another language. You can give it a try. I'm asking for how to create a new custom field in a Czech language. Now it's a little bit difficult for AI because part of the content was in Czech language and part of that was in English, but the AI has understood that I'm starting to speak Czech, so it really describes, I mean, how to do so, what is the custom field, and allows me to again open the articles from the knowledge base by querying in my local language. So we have seen today many cases when AI was processing the content, processing the journeys and knowledge bases. And today, we see that some clients are a little bit worried about what does it really mean from data protection point of view. And we would like to just highlight our ethical approach to AI, that we really first respect the privacy just by just making sure that the data security and data privacy is really the first class citizen type of requirement. And not just because there are several regulations and laws that requires us to do so, but also because everything in Newired is being designed with a full respect of a data privacy. That's why we also provide the option to host Newired on-prem within your private clouds, within your IT infrastructure, and if you deploy Newired in such an environment, we have no access to your data. And now the question is, I mean, how does it really work well in the context of the AI services? So we ensure the full data protection by several layers. First, we don't train the data models. So all the informations we process are first, let's say, processed on our side and then pushed to some short context memory of the AI system. And we don't need to train a data models. We don't train the data models with your data. We haven't trained data models with the previous data we have collected with some customers. We use just a standard NLP engines, and they are always augmented with the relevant content anytime you ask a question. So first, don't train the data models based on your data. Second, we enable you to use a contract with your, let's say, AI provider, whether it is OpenAI or Microsoft Azure or anything else, through a standard protocols, we can guarantee that actually all of the communication is being managed within your cloud infrastructures, because mainly in today's world, I mean, the AI is being powered by the cloud. So you may have already existing contract with Microsoft, with OpenAI, which actually guarantees you a strong data privacy processing, and we can run all these queries on, let's see, your token, or better, you integrate directly with the NLP engines as they are, let's say, set in your infrastructure. So first, no, we don't train data models based on any data. We push the data within the scope of every request, and this is not being stored with the NLP models. And second, we enable you to use the existing contracts, which guarantees you the data privacy. We are fully committed to stay ethical and explain any, let's say, technical decisions we have made to implement all these capabilities, and be very transparent about where the data are being stored, transferred, whether any data should have been used in the context of training the models, even though this is not the case today, as I was summarizing on that slide. I promise that we will also speak about the future, and something we have already touched today, that I was when I was speaking about the holistic assistance from the perspective that the help menu should be there for the user to ask, let's say, any question, processing the knowledge bases, etc. We have a long-term goal that we don't want to only rely on the content authors to create the journeys, playbooks, tips upfront. So what I'm saying is that we see that that we have deployments with hundreds, sometimes even thousands of journeys for complex, let's say, digital tools. But this never covers 100% of all the possible interactions of the user with the target platform. And in this case, I mean, what is missing is that there are still cases when there is no journey, when there is no tip, no bookmark, but the user may still feel lost. What we see today is that we also process the knowledge base, but the knowledge base is very often not adjusted to the scenarios on the customer side. What we see within our example that we were presenting today, the knowledge base is the standard Siemens knowledge base, but the actual setup might be different for this particular rollout. So how are we going to improve that that aspect of deploying a digital adoption platform? We have a goal that in the case when there is no journey, we can still make sure that we derive the information about the user flows from the existing use of the system. So you may have the existing well-trained users, power users, which know how to work with a target system. And based on that, we monitor the user behavior. So by just deploying Newired, we collect the information about the user flows and interaction patterns to understand what are the, let's say, power users or skilled users doing within the environment. And the interactive chatbot assistance, I can just ask or click on the button, what to do now? And the system will intelligently respond to it, providing guidance even in these unforeseen situations. What does it mean? It really actually follows what I am doing with the system, and based on the previous few steps, based on previous last 5 steps, what I was doing with the system, it somehow guesses what were the other users doing in a similar context, within similar story, and it suggests me what to do next. And this would enable us to actually help the user anytime, and not only in case when the content author has prepared a journey or even an article. I have even a diagram that highlights that. I don't have a live demo in the current moment. We already do have a technology running, let's say within the technical proof of concept, that you have a skilled end user who is actually using the web application. We trigger all these user activities, and we actually extract the patterns, the user flows based on what, let's see, what the people were doing commonly within a target system. And when there is a newbie, a new hire, someone new to the application, he's also performing some activities, maybe based on the initial training, based on the journeys that he or she have been trained. But if there is nothing, I mean, we still identify maybe the situations which are similar to what the skilled users were doing, and we may suggest the next step based on these previous activities. So for that, I cannot present it live today, but the great thing is that this is really the technology that is already running within our R&D labs, that we are already able to collect the data and extract the user flows, let's say these typical activities that are being performed by the user. And we are now in a moment when we are really in the best way trying to understand that the user is doing something similar as the extracted user flows. This will be completely independent on the content authors. So our goal is that all of that is done automatically just by having Newired being integrated with the Newired, with the target application. So the more time you use the Newired, the more flows can be automatically extracted, and the end users can benefit from this auto extraction mode, which actually make sure that, let's say, the more time you use it, the predictions will be also better and more accurate, because our goal is to go live into productions only with the features that we really see that are strong and powerful in the real life scenarios. So once again, today we have been expanding our content from the last webinar to really present live the content on this Siemens platform, the integration, how we can actually chat with AI in multiple languages, how the AI can respond about the journeys and suggest to run a specific journey, but not only the journeys, but also how to, let's see, process the knowledge base articles uh, to actually derive a textual response, plus suggest the which articles to read. In addition to that, let's say the AI is being used to automatically translate with one click the content into any target language with ability to post-process it manually if necessary. And last but not least, you need to remember that we don't train the data model. Your data are kept safe. All you need is just, let's say, the API token connected with your AI provider for your choice. And in the future, the benefit would be that the more time you use Newired, the better the automated generated content will respond anytime. There will be no journey, no article, but the user would still feel lost within his or her flow. This was what we are supposed to speak today in these 30 minutes. I hope that there will be some questions that we can answer in the next 10 minutes. So I'll open the Q&A panel, and And there are some questions. Let's see. Do you support Google AI? This is a good question. I would need to confirm with our technical team. There is an industry standard format, or at least the interface between the AI and the our service is pretty thin. So I am aware that we have several, let's say, implementations for different providers. What I was showing today was based on OpenAI ChatGPT 4.0 engine, but in general, it is not restricted to the to ChatGPT only. Another question here: does it support Chinese? Yes, in general, or technically, let's see. Here we have a Chinese, so we can all definitely translate. We can trigger it. Maybe we'll see in a few minutes the response, how the content has been translated to Chinese language. And unfortunately, I don't speak Chinese, so I cannot ask the questions. Maybe I can translate it. So translate into Chinese how to create a custom field. And if we get the ChatGPT translating us this, I can hopefully get this content and actually ask here, and maybe the content will be processed well, and it will actually allow us. So it does, let's see, process something. I can ask the ChatGPT to translate it back. Translate from Chinese. To create a custom field, you need to perform a series of steps in Polar administration interface, blah, blah, blah. So we have the content being processed automatically by Chinese, let's say, by the NLP running in a Chinese language, automatically understanding what I'm asking for and suggesting the content that has been there in Polarion. If I would be asking for something existing here, so automotive tour, so trigger automotive tour, translate into Chinese, trigger automotive tour. Again, I'll get the this, and I process it here on the chat interface. So we go to AI, ask this, and we should get, I don't know what does it really mean, but we should get the answer. So honestly, I don't really know Chinese language, so but it seems that it is working pretty well. It's definitely worth the try. Okay, new questions. Let me see, this is not relevant. What knowledge-based platforms do you support? I know that we can actually plug it with, it is not, you know, Newired was set up as an organization with the goal to not only focus on the industry standard applications which are globally known, such as Salesforce, Workday, etc., but really to plug in any application to our digital adoption layer. And we follow the same approach with the AI integrations. So the in the case what I was showing today, this is very proprietary content, which was not set up in any industry standard knowledge base format. It was really very custom. And we are able to integrate almost any content, considering the content is live, available online, considering it's basically human readable, which may also include, for example, PDFs available online, with just the very little integration connectors. So no matter what type of knowledge-based system you use, please contact us, and I'm sure that we can connect your knowledge base with your deployment of the of Newired DAP on top of your application. So we are not restricting the interfaces for some common knowledge-based systems. In general, it works with let's say any online-based knowledge base platform which expose the system live, considering only that if it would be hidden behind some authentication layer, you just need to make sure that this content is available or accessible to this Newired AI translation pack. Okay, more questions. Let's see. I don't see the features in my Newired portal. Yeah, so there is the new version of Newired being just launched, which enables this content translation or the automated content translation. And also some of the let's say the interface itself needs the AI service to be running and connected with the ChatGPT provider or an OpenAI provider, Azure provider, whatever. And this requires some additional configuration. So in a real life, from the component perspective, the AI capabilities are isolated into Newired AI framework, which is a separated component, which is not installed automatically with or by the Newired installer, and it needs to be running on a separate box. If you are ready for deploying such capabilities on top of your environment, please let us know, and we will guide you through our support how to enable the AI services on top of your Newired implementation. I don't see any more questions or comments. Give just few moments. So just to remind, today we were using two different environments. Just as an example, I was showing a few times the test drive server of Siemens where the Newired system is running, which is not deployed with the AI capabilities out of the box, but we have here, let's see, the clone of this environment where we are able to process let's see, the same content, including the articles from in this case, Siemens knowledge base, and we were able to process it and deploy for all our clients, for example, who have been using Newired on top of this Siemens Polarion interface. But of course, we are not limited to only that platform. This runs in general on top of any existing target environment. We just need to pick some environment for this particular webinar. So there was one question whether it works only on Siemens Polarion. This is not the case. We just I've chosen Siemens Polarion as a demo environment for this webinar. Thank you for your time. So I'm sure that you are teased to start deploying AI within your Newired setup. If so, please let us know, and we will help you to deploy it in a matter of days and make sure you can benefit from those capabilities on top of your existing environments. Have a great day. Bye.